I want to dispel one thing that I hear other influencers say out there in social media or on YouTube that could not be more wrong, which is telling young people all the time to just be patient. You know, enjoy your teens, enjoy your 20s. You've got forever. There's no reason to get so worried about being successful now. That is the most ridiculous advice. It's ridiculous and it's nonsense. There's no reason simply because of your age that you should not be after it, that you can't be hustling. Is it 18? Is it 28? Is it 38? It's ridiculous because there isn't a number. If you've got the desire to win, if you want to make your dreams come true, I don't care if you're 12 years old or 82 years old, your age is irrelevant. It's a form of ageism to tell a young person, just be patient. My mom and my dad didn't give me a business. I didn't start on second or third base like some of these people that are telling you somehow to be patient. I had to pick myself up by my bootstraps and make something of my life. And frankly, the sooner you get going, the sooner you start working on yourself, the sooner you're going to get there and enjoy your life. And so don't listen to that crap. When I was in my 20s, I made 6 figures early in my 20s. By the time I was 40, I was earning an 8-figure income. What if somebody had told me, cool it, be patient, don't worry about it? My entire life would be different. I wouldn't be looking at the ocean, living oceanfront now, or flying on my jet, or taking care of my parents. Whatever the material things are, donating to the charities that I want. And I listen to that absurd, ridiculous, stupid advice. So please don't listen to those people. They have good intentions. They're talking about not putting pressure on yourself. You've got all kinds of time. The truth is, a little pressure is probably pretty good for you. Steve Jobs was in his 20s and teens when he started. Bill Gates, Mark Cuban. Why is it that you can't start young? Steve Jobs did, I did, Cuban did, Bill Gates did. The list of billionaires in the country gets younger every single year, as do the millionaires. You want to know why? Technology, your phone, your iPad, social media allows people at any age to win, including preteen and teenagers. Now that we can get rid of that myth, what should I be working on? First thing is this. I think you need to start to read books on persuasion and influence. And when you're watching social media or YouTube, or study their style, study how they roll their words out, their vocabulary. Begin to model them and then modify to your style. Model and modify. It's going to be your ability to persuade people, to cast a vision, to transfer energy at any age of your life that's going to determine how far you go. So start to study the great communicators. That's number one. Or if you're one of those kids listening to this, young people, begin the process of setting goals early. Begin to set goals and achieve them. Write down your outcomes. Third, begin to work on personal development. Read some books. Read Max Out Your Life. Read that book. There are other great books out there by many people that you can begin to read around your school books or in the summertime on personal development, on personal growth, on persuasion, on leadership. Begin to feed yourself these great books early in your life, and it'll change things.
You got to get yourself ready. And one of the ways you got to get ready is not just physical and not just spiritual. You got to get ready mentally to develop the philosophy and also be able to defend your virtues and your values. You need a good library. Shilf got me started on my library. Here's one of the books he recommended. Think and Grow Rich. Shilf said to me, doesn't that book title intrigue you? Think and Grow Rich. Don't you have to read that book? Think and Grow Rich. Yes, sir. I went and found that book in a used bookstore. That's where I had to start. In a used bookstore. I paid less than 50 cents for it. I've still got it. Wow, Shilf was right. Get a library started. It'll change your life. Any home over $200,000 has got a library. Why do you suppose that is? Wouldn't that make you curious? How come every home over $200,000 has got a library? You say, well, I can't afford a $200,000 home. It doesn't matter what size home. Take your present apartment, clean out a closet, call it your library, and start acting intelligent. And start this process like I did, developing the library. Here's what your library needs to show, that you're a serious student of health, life, culture, sophistication, economics, prosperity, productivity, values of all kinds. Let your library show you're a serious student. Don't be lazy in learning. Information is the key. Learning is the beginning of wealth. Learning is the beginning of health. All values, all virtues start with the learning process. Don't be be lazy in gathering the library. Here are some key sections to put in your library called mental food. It's so important to nourish the mind, not just the body, to nourish the mind. Key phrase. Now it needs to be well balanced. Can't live on mental candy. Somebody says, well, I just read this positive stuff. That's too second grade. You can't just be inspired. You've got to be taught. You can't just be inspired. You've got to be educated. Remember, don't be a follower, be a student. That's the key to all books. Don't be a follower, be a student.
Begin to think about and work on, what am I gifted at? What am I good at? What am I passionate at? How could I turn that into a business? How could I turn that into a cause? And how do I leverage those into solving other people's problems? How can my gifts, my blessings turn into a business that can solve people's problems? The next step is being a leader. You have to decide that you want to lead. You have to step forward. That means not being like everybody else in your school. I don't care if you're in 6th grade or you're in college right now. It's being a leader. It's not being one of the guys. It's not being part of the pack. It's being different than other people. It's thinking different than other people. It's learning early in life that other people's approval, your friends, your buddies liking everything you do and believing in everything you do, it's not going to get you where you want in life. It's being unique. It's stepping out. And when you're young, you're going to take criticism for it, for being different, for not going with the flow, for not drinking with everybody or smoking weed with everybody. Stay away from those things when you're young. Stay away from them when you're old if you can. These are not the practices of people that win. Let everybody else smoke and do drugs and smoke weed and get in trouble and go down that path. You step out. You be different. You be extraordinary. And you be proud of the fact that you're different. The next thing is you got to work on your self-confidence. Self-confidence is the process of keeping the promises that you make to yourself. When you begin to make a promise, I'm going to get up at a certain time, I'm going to get a certain grade, I'm going to study. Deliver on the promise you make to yourself. Not what you promise your parents, what you promise you. When you begin to stack what you promise yourself and you deliver on it, you begin to build a reputation with yourself that you can trust you, and that will serve you the rest of your life. That's self-confidence. Keep the promises you make to yourself. The next part, you start to work on your self-worth, which is different than just your confidence. Self-worth means I deserve this, and that comes from doing the hard work. That comes from being unique. Noticing it when you're a leader. Noticing it when you do things other people don't do. Noticing it when you turn away from bullying somebody and you're the kind one, or you interrupt someone who's bullying and you stop it, or you step up in a situation and you lead and you do the right thing, and you begin to realize you're different, you're unique, your self-worth begins to change, and you believe over the time in your life, I deserve to win, I deserve to be different. The next thing is this, you got to take some steps. You got to take some actions, make some mistakes, fall down, allow yourself to fail. Failure is only failure if you don't learn something from it. But the younger you are and the sooner you begin to take action and allow yourself to learn and get experience, the stronger you become. So what is it that you love? Is it sports? Is it music? Is it business? Is it your ability to speak, listen, your math skills, your kindness, your humor, your passion, your ability to learn, your ability to teach, your programming skills? Maybe it's you thinking creatively. Maybe it's just hard work. But what are you gifted with? And begin to leverage those gifts and talents towards your goals and dreams, and you'll be much happier. And the next thing is this, dream. I want you picturing your life. I live oceanfront here, and when I was a little boy, I used to walk on this beach and say, someday we're going to live there. Someday I'm going to have that house. There was nothing in my family that told me we should live somewhere like this. But I started dreaming. I started thinking big. And then over time in my life, I went to work on finding the people, the places, the things, and the resources to make this thought a reality. Just like you can if you think those big thoughts. I started to think about what I wanted my life to look like. Ultimately, if you don't take control about what you think about, you don't begin to dream and picture your life for what you want, the rest of the world's going to dictate to you who you turn out to be. Always be positive. Stay away from negative people. Don't allow negative people in your circle. You're going to become the 4 or 5 people you hang around the most. Make sure you're hanging around positive and growth-oriented people who also want to make their dreams come true. It's what separates us, is who we associate with. So I want to challenge you, read, Pray about it if you're a praying person. Ask God to join you in your business. And believe me when I tell you, anything is possible at any age, at any time, if you stack up some of the things we've talked about today.